Ever since the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine was approved, the tinfoil hat brigade have been up in arms, and now the Oxford vaccine is up and running, things are only going to get worse for them. And as I've said in previous videos, the people who believe in COVID conspiracy theories, 5G and all the others are going to go to greater and greater lengths to prove their unfounded ideas. And what type of person watches the news and sees grieving relatives pleading for others to stick to the rules so that they don't have to experience the heartache they're going through, and decides that those people, and the doctors and the nurses and the scientists and all the media and all the patients are part of a wider government conspiracy? To be blunt, that type of person is a fucking moron. So in an attempt to prove that they're not just a bunch of uneducated wank puffins, the conspiracy loons will be spreading more and more lies, endangering more and more lives. Now, if it were up to me, the way I would deal with them is I would throw them face first into a combine harvester. And that wouldn't be hard to do. We just need to start a rumour that combines are part of an Illuminati-style conspiracy, and then every tinfoiler would shout, "Ha! Combines don't exist," and throw themselves headlong into the blades. But now, an as yet unnamed genius has pranked the 5G conspiracy crowd, exposing them for the half-wits which we already knew they were, with what's quite possibly the best wind-up I've ever seen. Most of us have heard some of the 5G conspiracy theories, the idea that the pandemic has been staged to allow the government or whichever nefarious organisations to roll out 5G. Now, the sensible people know that it's just the 5th generation of mobile phone network. But for the people who got all their education from YouTube, they think it's a form of mind control device. And by far the maddest, but also one of the most widely believed conspiracies from the disciples of David Icke, is that the vaccines will contain microchips, which are controlled by 5G. So a wiring diagram of the 5G microchip started to circulate around conspiracy message boards and then spilled over onto social media. And here it is. There's no way something like this could be made small enough to be invisible to the human eye and injectable. But that isn't a problem for the 5G conspiracy crowd, because they've seen Tony Stark's suit in Avengers Endgame, so they think they understand nanotechnology. So how is it meant to work? Well, there are 4 processors and 4 transistors. The 5G signal enters through the inputs, and then the bass and treble controls can be adjusted to control which each individual is able to hear. Frightening stuff from an Orwellian nightmare. Proof that the powers to be are up to no good. But then an Italian chap called Mario Fusco pointed out that this isn't a microchip. It's the wiring diagram for an electric guitar effect pedal. But I'm going to guess that the person who doctored the wiring diagram to read that it's the 5G microchip is a guitar player. Because that's not the wiring diagram to any effects pedal. That's the Boss MT2 Metal Zone. Just to explain, the Metal Zone is probably the most ridiculed piece of kit used by any metal guitarist. It is the weapon of choice of a 14-year-old boy who has no idea what he's doing, but just wants to make a shitload of noise with no subtlety, tone or nuance. Loads of volume, but not worth listening to. Much like most conspiracy theorists. And although it may be possible to get a decent tone out of a Boss Metal Zone, there are videos on YouTube and countless memes all saying the same thing. They sound like crap, and that is the pure, unadulterated genius with passing this wiring diagram off as the 5G microchip. Because conspiracy nuts are sharing something that sounds like crap. Once this came to light, people on social media were quick to mock, with posts like "conspiracy theorists go into overdrive" or "they're droning on, wah wah wah." But I wouldn't use lazy puns to make fun of the mentally deficient, who thought that the wiring diagram for an effects pedal was actually a microchip, although it is worth mentioning those pedals run on a 9-volt battery, so you'd have to inject one of those as well. But if you do believe in the 5G conspiracy, let me say this. Don't fret. You stuck your neck out, but you don't need to go off your nut. Things may seem a little out of tune, like a bit of a fuzz, but before long, things will come together like a wonderful chorus. Don't delay. You can be your own boss. Pick what you do. No one's pulling your strings. Get back in the saddle. Follow your own leads. Cross each bridge as you come to it, and if you get stuck in a loop, just pick up where you left off. You're not just a conspiracy theorist, you're an explorer. You can fend for yourself, you don't need to be marshalled. Maybe you want to tone it down and reduce the noise. Or maybe you're a screamer, you want more volume and to feel more amplified. And if I had a son who believed in the 5G conspiracy but had been taken in by this cruel prank, I'd say, don't be a crybaby. Son, you have so much more to give. So much to give, son. I bet that was like watching Derren Brown at work. Although I used all those photographs because if I hadn't, there would be some conspiracy theorists who are that fucking thick they'd think I was supporting them. Anyway, a quick shout out to Ben from Wolves and Alcatraz who suggested this video, and as ever, thanks for watching.